Drag is my career. It's the thing that I love the most, and it's an expression, it's an art form, and it's just the only thing I could ever see myself doing in the world.
If a woman walks down the street dressed in men's clothes, that's not going to turn anyone's heads. But if a man does it, then it's somehow degrading. And I started thinking, well, why is it degrading? Ophelia is a bit more glamorous and refined, and I think that's why I started doing that character, because I knew that I could do hair, I knew that I could do makeup, and like, even though I knew what my character was, I think to other people it looked as if I just didn't really have a clue. I think that was a way of saying, look, I can do it, and I can do it well, and I can do my makeup well, and I can do my hair well. And I started recognizing that I had really feminist ideas, and you just kind of think, well, why is it so awful to emulate a woman? So then I started thinking, right, well, that's what I'm gonna do. Well, I'm shaving my face just to get a more hyper feminine look on my makeup. I always get a really dark patch on my chin all the time. Like when I shave, even when I went for a professional shave, they couldn't get it off. So I have to put red lipstick underneath to counteract the pigment, and then put my foundation over. One of the things that puts me off doing drag a lot, and I don't know how people do it every day, is that I always have to have a smooth face, but my eyes are puffy from makeup, and like you can never get the glow off, and you just generally don't feel very attractive the next day.
Ophelia feels like she embodies a lot of stuff that I used to feel, and she's still got a lot of anger in her, and because the look was so out there and so shocking and so kind of like, ooh, I'm spooky and I'm this and I'm that, I felt like there was too much to live up to. I wanted to unleash Ophelia into the world with this kind of almost manifesto about what she stands for and what she does. And then we moved to Liverpool, we moved away from London, we moved away from Adelaide, we moved away from where all these other characters were. And like in the background, that's while Ophelia was being created. We've got the faux fur, a couple of dresses that my mum lent me recently, which I haven't tried on yet. They're on this side. We've got a load of dresses back here. This is the one that I wore for Golden Girls when I did Rose drag. This was our Cruella outfit for when we went out for the Halloween ball, and we just got a number of velvet and ball gowns and things that all make an appearance at some time or another. We went out on a club night, he was dressed as Rocky Horror kind of thing, and I had this blonde wig on. Oh, I was dressed as Cher from Clueless, that was it. And we turned up at the local gay bar, because there's only one gay bar in Adelaide, it's called the Mars Bar, and it's really old school, and the queens there are really old school. So we kind of sat down, and nobody else was dressed up for Halloween, and I didn't consider myself a drag queen at that point. So people were coming up to us and being like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, Mark, like forgetting what I was even doing. And we were like, oh God, isn't this crazy? They actually think that we're drag queens. They don't even realize it's Halloween. And then the resident drag queen came up to us, not in drag, and she was like, oh, hi, Crystal Dark, like, pleased to meet you, and like put her like hand out, and she was like this middle-aged bald man, and I was like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, Crystal. And then what was she saying? She was kind of a bit threatening, do you know, kind of, you need to keep off my turf, and I just wanted to say to her, like, babe, it's Halloween, chill. But I started to feel like I wasn't a drag queen unless I had a spot in a nightclub, so I started like chasing that, and it wasn't what I wanted to do at all. And it's strange that you can kind of feel like, oh, I'm doing exactly what I want, and then all of a sudden you start getting boxed in again into like what role you should play as a drag queen. I think it's still a form of entertainment, because if you go out and draw attention to yourself, then you're still drawing attention to yourself, and like we obviously like the attention, and you can still go out and project an image and do those kinds of things, but I feel like even from other drag queens, it's kind of a bit like, oh, what? But you don't have 5 nights a week in a slot, and like, why do you do this then? And it's like, well, why do you do it in the first place? Do you know, like, everybody can have their different reasons, and
I just find it a strange environment where it's kind of like be as creative as you can and then shove yourself back in the box. Like,
Ophelia would be more flamboyant and ball gowny and that kind of thing. Whereas now that I'm starting to do Femi, I don't really know what I'd start to shop for. Just something a little bit more dressed down, earthy, feminine. When I do Ophelia, it doesn't feel like me anymore. Whereas Femi, the aesthetic feels easier to she feels easier to kind of embody, but again, it's just because it's something a bit more lighthearted and a bit more tongue-in-cheek. It's just more fun.
Well, I find that people are usually jealous of me, so I wanted to channel that into something positive. So I find that Femi is more of an outreach to people less fortunate than myself.
So this is the one that I made yesterday. This was Femi's first hair. I went to Paul's Hair World and got 2 bags of human hair. I wanted human hair so I could heat style it, and then literally get a wig cap and use glue and glue them on in tracks. Femi is just a way of, I don't know, exploring another creative path, like something that's a little bit more contrived and put on and all for show, and just giving that a go.
girls. Oh, girls.
One of them is called Karen from Finance, and the other one is called Just Linda. People see them as vermin, but I wouldn't say that I see everybody else around me as vermin, but they do have something to aspire to. So I think that by me adopting the vermin of the world, which is also one of God's creatures, I can probably inspire people to be more charitable like me.
Femi, I feel, comes more naturally because it's the kind of jokes that we say anyway in our day-to-day life. Do you know what I mean? Not the offensive stuff, but like the stuff that's kind of, I don't know, we'll realise we're doing something and we'll laugh at ourselves.
Well, I'm quite blessed in the sense that I am a pretty white female, so I've never had to face any kind of oppression like Mark, who is gay. We live in a really male-dominated society, and as much as you want to ignore it, like we still do. It's women are congratulated for acting like men, and that is one of the major points in the poem that I come across.
Drag is not a perversion or a perverted kind of fetish or anything like that. Drag is not something that gay men do because they didn't go to university and it's the only option they've got. Drag is not something to be laughed at. I think it's something to be really respected. Drag isn't, to me, about looking like a woman, because you've got your club kid drag, which I started out as a bit of a club kid, which is just stick anything to you, fashion a look. You know, it's more look based, so you can be a fabulous alien from Planet Disco, or you can be that fabulous glamazon woman. But I'm never trying to be a woman. I'm, like as I always say, if you ever find a woman who wears as many pairs of tights, padding, eyelashes, wigs as me, then she can have my job any day. It's definitely still James, but it's just a heightened version of me. I can get away with a lot more. I can touch a straight lad's ass, or I can tell someone buy me a drink, or you know, it's still me. It's just a character that I've created. I don't see it as another person. Some people do. That's up to them. But I just see it as, no, it's me. I've sat for 4 hours putting this character together, so I'm going to make the bloody most of it.
Oh shit, we're just going to wrap it up. Randos and punches, squares and facts and 1, 2, 3! That's better!
I want to be known as a fabulous, amazing drag queen who loves what they do. And I think a lot of people do see that in me. And I think the only people who kind of do see me, you know, if somebody does think, oh, she's fame hungry, I think they're the fame hungry ones who are a bit jealous. Sacrifice my eyebrows. They're gone. Yeah, sacrifice buying things for yourself because you're spending it all on wigs and other stuff you need for drag. But the biggest thing is like the dating aspect of it. It can get a bit depressing sometimes, but then fucking deal with it, don't you? You know, you'll always find someone to sleep with, but finding someone who you're going to spend the rest of your life with, it's a bit daunting to say, oh, by the way, I dress as a woman for a living.
Before we do anything else, can you please show some appreciation and make some noise for last DJ? The gorgeous Miss Tiana! There we go. Oh, right, I think we're having another shot. Right, cheers, everybody. Right, I'm going to be taking you to about 3 o'clock in the morning. My name is...
I can't see myself being anything other than a drag queen. There's going to have to be a time where I stop. I know drag queens who are in the 70s, 80s still doing it. I don't think. Well, it depends on how I look. If I still look good, then I'll do it till the day I die. But that's going to take a lot of surgery. I think a lot of facelifts. I'd like to be in America. I said to myself this year, if Drag Race wasn't in the UK by this year, I'd move over to America. However, things have changed with me winning the UK ambassador. So I think I'd like to stay in the UK. And because I know for a fact I'd miss the boat as soon as I go to America, then it'd kick off in England. And that would be my chance because I'm well known over here. So I think I'm going to wait it out a couple of years. I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
I don't have any interest to it, but I think that everybody should be open to where their life is going to take them, sort of thing. So if I woke up in, I don't know, 2 days or 10 years' time and went, do you know what? Like, I actually feel more comfortable as Femi. I'm going to be Femi from now on. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I don't know if I'd feel comfortable living like that for the rest of my life. I still want to feel like me.